Hey, this is Matt once again with the Back Channel video, and this is a paid request for Ben. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting for any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, reviews, re-reviews, whatever the case may be, topics, reactions, commentaries, whatever. PayPal is usually the best bet, or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Sorry if I ever just repeated that twice. It's late at night, my head is bamboozled. But thank you, Ben. Sorry for the lateness of this, just life and everything else been busy, but hope you enjoy. I am going to start at the beginning. No kidding. As opposed to what? Start the ending and go backwards. We're going to watch the film backwards just because. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. MDP Worldwide in association with Grandview Avenue Pictures presents For Sinking, Arthur Goldblatt, Andrew Pfeffer production. Perry Lane film. Which Perry Lane is an actor as well as a director. Dolph Lundgren, it would easily be my top 10 favorite Dolph Lundgren films. Dolph Lundgren to me has always been an underrated action star who he hasn't had the best breaks in terms of, well, yes and no. Early on, I mean, getting Rocky IV, that was definitely a great break. But he just has a lot of films in his early career that I find just fairly underrated. Now, this is a film that is a well-made flick in terms of the way it looks, the quality of the film, the quality of the action sequences. That does feel like a theatrical production. Like, I could see this belonging in theaters. The music feels epic right here, the score. Like, you could hear this score in the theater. It has a grand steel to it. That establishes shots of this cityscape. This was supposed to be in theaters. But from what I understand, Harvey Weinstein and Miramax bought the film. They said they were going to put it in theaters. They lied. So they went and put it out straight to video in the US because they said Dolph Lundgren's films don't sell. And to be fair, he's got a point. Because after Rocky IV, you had Red Scorpion, which I enjoy. Maybe made a little bit of money, but wasn't a Game Busters in the US type of hit. You have The Punisher. I love Red Scorpion. You have The Punisher, which I also love. 1989 film that the company went belly up. Roger Corman's company. And so while I was supposed to be in theaters, it went straight to video. So again, the company went belly up, so I gave it to this and released it on VHS. Was it Live Entertainment, I think? Might be wrong on that. Shonen Tokyo. You have the director of Commando. You have Dolph and Brandon Lee. Dolph is the star. That only got released in a handful of theaters. So it didn't really have much of a chance, and so it bombed. Even though that's a kick-ass film. Then you have... what? Cover Up wasn't that good of a movie, and that bombed. For good reason. What a way to introduce your character. A guy messes with him, smashes him right through the windshield. Now, the guy on the left, Warren, I remember him from Dharma and Greg. He was the great on Dharma and Greg. And I think he was on another TV show, like one of those crime shows. But he got fired because of his behavior. I don't know what he's doing nowadays. And the guy on the right with the glasses, I think that's the director. I could be wrong, but I think that's the director. There's also that guy who's the director of the film, and I think this guy in the glasses, he was in the film Alligator, 1980 film. He's the rookie, the younger cop with Robert Forster in the first act of the film, and they're in the sewer, and Robert Forster tries to help the guy, but the guy gets dragged and dragged away by the alligator. And Robert Forster's like, no! And then he can't stop thinking about it and wants to get revenge. I'm like, I knew that guy seemed familiar. Yeah, I think it's that guy. Not Perry Lane. Now this guy here, I forget his name. He's been in a lot of films, including the original Roadhouse. Because I think he's the guy that hires Patrick Swayze. He hires Patrick Swayze to be the guy watching over his bar's tavern. Which is not called the Roadhouse like the remake. This bar's called the Roadhouse. Really on the nose, okay? But yeah, like with Dolph, after Rocky 4, maybe Red Scorpion had a little bit of success with overseas, but really the only success he had was Universal Soldier. I Come in Peace, which I love, is my favorite Dolph Lundgren film. That sadly bombed. So think about it. The two films Dolph's most known for is Rocky 4 and Universal Soldier. Rocky 4 is more attributed to Stallone, and Universal Soldier is more attributed to Jean-Claude Van Damme, who is his up-and-coming action star, who had hits like Bloodsport, Kickboxer, Lionheart, Double Impact. And, I mean, if Steven Seagal and Van Damme were having those hits, deservedly so, because I love the early Seagal films, Out for Justice, Above the Law, Under Siege, March for Death. And Van Damme, I love those films, Lionheart, Bloodsport, Kickboxer. That to me, I Come in Peace and Showdown Little Tokyo and this film, to me, should have had that same success. I don't think Dolph's a bad actor. I think he's got a good presence. He's got a good look to him. You could build him being very strong, but he can also do martial arts as well. But again, like Showdown Little Tokyo barely got released. I Come in Peace didn't do well. The Punisher went straight to video because the company went belly up. This was supposed to be in theaters, but it went straight to video, and it didn't deserve it. But at the same time, Sally, I can understand their thinking. But of course, the hope is that maybe this will be different. But if they ignored I Come in Peace and these, I don't know, maybe it wouldn't be different, Sally. I don't know what it is. For some reason, either bad luck or timing or what, it's like the mainstream didn't care to see Dolph's films that he starred in. Which I never understood. And it's funny watching this again, how this is kind of a precursor to the Expendables. And I mean, not in terms of the cast. Well, except one. But a group of people getting together for a mission. I mean, there's been a lot of men on a mission movies. I also think of it because Dolph Lundgren plays a character named Gunner. I do love that line. What people we shooting? Lighter than you, darker than me. I do like this guy too. I'm bad with names. I sort of the Italian guy. Definitely has some personality to him. And of course, previously with the Debo, Tiny Lisa Jr. in prison. He was Debo on Friday. He was Zeus in No Holds Barred. May he rest in peace, Sally. Tiny Lisa Jr. passed away. And this guy was a bit more of a hippie type. That's Tim Guiney, I believe. I remember him in... I think he was John Carpenter's Vampires. He's the priest, the padre, who James Woods always gives crap to. You get a little bit of mahogany? Huh? You get a little bit of chubby priest? Huh, padre? So he co-starred with John Carver's Vampires with James Woods. This is another guy I've seen in a lot of movies too. And funny enough, Expendables 3, there was a guy that would fight, get beaten up in order to raise the stakes, and then he would win. But it's done better here with the way it's filmed, the look of it, the environment. The environment seems a bit more of the underworld, underground type of fight circuit. And of course, he's got the American flag on to rouse the anger of the locals, to make them bet higher, I'm sure. And now he played possum, and now also fight choreography seems a bit better too. Now I don't know if he uses. I don't think he uses much of these martial arts later on, though. Nick the Swede, or Nick Gunar. And then again, his character in The Expendables is called Gunner. That just seems like a big coincidence that two films where it's a men on a mission, mercenaries hired to do a job, and his character is named Gunner in both of them. Lean on the locals and convince them to sign the contract. Now, it says it was written by John Sayles. From what I understand, this was a different script. It was taken and reworked to be a Dolph Lundgren action movie. Well, I think the writers said, yeah, this is actually pretty good Dolph action movie, and it's one of his best. And I agree. In fact, the more I think about it, this probably would be in my top 5 Dolph films. Because my favorite is I Come in Peace. But man, there's a lot to choose. Universal vs. Soldier would have to be on the list somewhere. Rocky IV would have to be on the list somewhere. I love The Punisher. I love Shonen No Tokyo, so maybe it wouldn't crack the top 5. It would at least be top 10. But I said Dolph had, for me, a good track record. It's like Red Scorpion I love as well. Even direct-to-video. There's been a lot of bad ones lately, but Command Performance, where he's in a band. He's a guitarist, and it becomes Die Hard in a concert. Of course, you have the thing where he's got like multiple guns. So many little guns, that could hurt anybody. Of course, nowadays you wouldn't have this kind of scene because it'd be labeled too sexist. You have these women whose shirts are so tight, you see the nipples ready to pop out and pop your eye out. Bah! Barb. Now, trying to think what's the line she says later on. This person. trying to remember what she says later. And look, you want to make friends cost more, yeah. I always like that line. For some reason, that line, like, hey, you want to screw is $20. You want to make friends that cost more. And Dolph is kind of pontificating about how this island was probably a paradise, but now it's this scummy bar with hookers and dealings and, you know. Although, I mean, it doesn't seem that bad of a place either. just depends. And $20, seems like a pretty good deal. Here we have the, again, when we're told there was never a strong female, here we go here. And this lady, she's like beautiful, hot, but she does have a badass attitude to her as well. Like nowadays, it'd be like Mary Elizabeth Winstead or the lady from Batwoman that would try to play this role, but she seems a bit more natural in that. Telling this guy off. I was mentioning that the film, it did have a Blu-ray. I mean, it was on DVD in the US, and when I had that, it was on VHS. Blu-ray, it got a Blu-ray that's out of print that was on with another movie. Bravo was in the title. I think Sean Bean was in it. Bravo something. It was like 3-word title. It was like 2 movies in one pack. Oh, of course, you gotta have a bar fight. Debo, rest in peace, showing a bit of his strength here. Each one showing a little bit of their personalities. This guy has the right idea to lock up the guns. This way they don't allow guns in here. This guy being calm and collected and being, okay, there you go. You get to see other people in the team get a little bit their moments to shine. Ooh, nice stunt there. Dolph's like, get out of my face. Ooh, nice elbow. Lo and behold, to shoot it wide enough to see the whole environment and not have 100 edits right across the face. Now, sadly, I think the cut, if you see this film, if you on that DVD and of course that Blu-ray, this guy's great. Rest in peace to this actor as well. He was Kano in the 1995 Mortal Kombat. It's just so good at being slimy and unapologetic about it. I think he's Australian. Yeah, sadly, I think he passed away not too soon after the. Well, this is before Mortal Kombat. Some might have seen this movie and got him for Mortal Kombat. I don't know. Got a little bit of a. He's so great. This is good. This is very, very fucking good. Murdered one of his own men to give these people a murder charge. Now that's how you introduce a bad guy. He's got personality, he's got energy. You see how psycho and crazy he is. And then here's like, oh, you want to go hand to hand? But it's like, here's some rules. I hit you. I hit you. And then I hit you. Let's come up here. Hit me. I hit you. Hit me. This I hit you. And I fucking hit you. Trevor Goddard is his name. Every time he touches me, kill one of his men. See, this is a very interesting scene here because, well, we know eventually these two guys are going to fight. We gotta say that for the end of the movie. It makes the bad guy, he's being slimy, evil, energetic, but also kind of the chicken heel, as they say in wrestling, where he won't allow a fair fight. But it's also smart of him. Like, if he's got all the guys with the guns, why would he want a one-on-one fight? I mean, there's a lot of movies that do that anyway. But this does seem to make more sense of, I'm going to punish this guy, I'm going to humiliate this guy, I'm going to beat him up, I'm going to get... And sorry about the cat. Cat's... What? Ooh, nice makeup. I mean... They are also showing blood on the face. There's sometimes like people get hit and then they show nothing on their face. You actually see this progression. And also showcases Dolph's character. He's willing to do this for his men, willing to accept the humiliation because he doesn't want any of his men to die. It shows a sense of courage. It shows a sense of stature. Well, not stature, but it shows, you know, what kind of guy Dolph is. Why, you know, at least some of the people would have respect for Dolph. He's willing to get humbled, even though I know and you know he could beat this guy up. But he's doing it for his men. And he's always just like, you can't wait to see this guy do his comeuppance. Yeah, going through the cast, the Italian guy, that's Anthony Dennison. He was the guy that had all the guns that was taken off of him. He was in films I don't recognize. Yes, I have a lot of films I don't recognize. The City of Hope, 1990, and then that's with Patrick Swayze. He was in The Greatest Ape 2, the TV movie. He was on a couple episodes of the 80s show Wise Guy. He played a priest in Child of Darkness, Child of Light. Oh yeah, he was in Forward Clips, that's right. With Marvin Van Peebles. I remember enjoying that one as well. That's another underrated one. A lot of TV work. And he's one of the major... Oh, he's one of the main roles is this show called Major Crimes. Went on for over 100 episodes. And so, Major Crimes, 2012 to 2018. Now the girl there, I think that's Catherine Bell. She is Lieutenant Colonel Sarah Mackenzie on that TV show Jag that went from 1997 to 2005. She was in Bruce Almighty. And yeah, she was on that TV show Jag. And again, a lot of TV episodes of other stuff. Army Wives. It's a series of stuff called The Good Witch, The Good Witch's Family, The Good Witch's Charm, The Good Witch's Wonder. She has a recurring role in NCIS Los Angeles. Well, she appeared in a couple episodes. The guy who's a little bit more religious. He's the guy who's walking up. He's the guy that wrapped the stuff up in the cloth and was the towel whipping people in the face. That's Tom Wright. He was the guy hit by the car in Creepshow 2. Thanks for the ride, lady. He's under a lot of weight. He's the guy who's pointing right now. That's Tom Wright. And I want to make sure he was in... Yep, Marked for Death. I wanted to make sure. Yeah, he's the cop in Marked for Death who helps out Steven Seagal in the end. The three of them. I think it's like Keith David, Steven Seagal, and Tom Wright. The three of them helping out. Helping each other in Marked for Death. He was also Weekend at Bernie's 2. I think it was him and Steve James trying to get the dead body. Bernie! He was in Murder at 1600 with Wesley Snipes. He was in Barbershop 2, Barbershop 1. He's been in a lot of stuff. Kevin Teed, that was the name of the guy that hired Dolph that I said was in Roadhouse. That's his name, Kevin Teed. And like I said, he's been in a lot of stuff. He was in What's the Eating Deal with Drape. He was in Another 48 Hours. He was in K9. Yeah, Another 40 Hours. He's a guy trying to get Nick Nolte in jail. Of course, the guy there, the Asian guy is B.D. Wan. Most people remember him from Jurassic Park. Which he was in the first one, then he came back for the new ones as Dr. Henry Wu. But yeah, that's B.D. Wan there. Again, Jurassic Park, people probably remember him the most from. Just like I said, he was in the first one, then came back for Jurassic World and that trilogy of movies. And then this lady who's going to be our love interest for Dolph is Charlotte Lewis. And Charlotte Lewis, of course, was in my personal favorite comedy, The Golden Child. There's Charlotte Lewis right there. And Thomas Gibson's the guy I was thinking of that was on Dharma and Greg. He was on the TV show Criminal Minds. And again, I think he got fired because an on-set altercation with a writer producer. Trying to see if that guy's done anything since. I'm just not a whole lot. G.I. Joe got gum. But yeah, beautiful location you got here. Some nice wide shots that showcases the environment. Very nicely done there. And some nice looking wide shots. You know, just to further show just how peaceful these folks are in this like paradise. which then leads into, you know, when they get to know them more and more. Yeah, it's like we don't have days and days. But I'll be right back. Sorry about that, I had to get something done. But I'm paused at 29 minutes, 34 seconds. Unpause now. Oh, I forgot to look at what this guy's name is, but... Well, you said for a guy that... That again, I don't know what Perlin has done since then, directing-wise. But for a guy that, you know, directed this, seemed like he could have done a lot more, at least in the action field. Because he gets a lot out of this island environment, showcasing the beauty of the island, and how such is a different comparison to the previous island they were on, with bars and hookers and crime. How he defends a lot of trees and rocks. It's true. Like, what would they have to defend? But yeah, I said Dolph, even his direct-to-video stuff, like I said, there's some pretty good ones. I mentioned the Command Performance. There's also The Russian Specialist, also known as The Mechanic, which is a revenge movie that Dolph Lundgren directed. There's The Defender, which has a bit of an Assault and Precinct 13 siege. It's a siege type of movie. I just there put a little bit of the touches of the difference between the two, where Tim Guiney and Tom Wright are much more passive, while Tiny Lisa Jr. and this guy are a bit more hostile. So I'm laughing to that funny bit where he just pop him up. I know it's Tiny Lisa Jr., I just keep wanting to call him Zeus. There was No Holds Barred, the movie, did with Hulk Hogan, and then he had a little WWF run to promote that movie, where he teamed up with Hulk Hogan against Macho Man Randy Savage and Bruce the Barber Beefcake. Like I said, I don't know where they shot this, but like I said, a great location. Like the islands and mountains in the background. And some people may throw... Maybe they expected more action. Maybe they expected more balls to the walls. When the action occurs, it's very satisfying. And you end up paying for your buck. When you're shooting his bazooka, I forget the actual name. He's talking, it's Swedish, and blowing up good chunks of the village. Gunplay. You get some fisticuffs when he's fighting Trevor Goddard's character. You definitely get some excitement and thrills in there. But it's actually building up a story. You're actually building up a story there. I don't know why that guy would try to play a game that he doesn't even understand the rules to. That just seems like you're liable to get to lose everything. And you have Dolph's character got his gun out because in his line of work he really hasn't showcased much in terms of innocence, and we saw a little bit of himself where he's a drunk at the beginning of the film. On the other island, he's trying to have a conversation with this hooker, and she just wants the money, not conversation. This kid just literally attached to the hip of Dolph. Because I don't blame the kid. I'm a fan of Dolph as well. I'm that kid. I'm like, I love I Come in Peace as well. You're the Punisher. Hell yeah, you're the Punisher. The face of the dead. Oh, right now I'm just thinking it's going to turn to like that game Uncharted where there's a curse and then people get infected, and the half the village, more of the village becomes infected, and there's dolphins burst against these infected people. I mean, I would love to have seen that film too, but that's not what this film is. Now, granted, you don't get a lot of in-depth work with the other characters. You just get a little taste of their personalities. But at least each one, there's a uniqueness to them that they don't blend together. Well, okay, I deal with that guy is. That guy was more the peaceful guy. That guy was more the hippie guy. The hippie guy falls in love with one of the locals. The Italian guy has a house for this girl, and that's going to come into play later on. Zeus is the most hostile of them all. Oh yeah, I've heard of these. I've heard of this. In the islands and the Philippines and such, this is a delicacy for them. It's pretty much embryos. Eating and drinking embryos. What's BD1's line? I remember enjoying this line. You guys eat these all the time? Are you kidding? We don't eat that shit. I thought that was a pretty genuinely fun, that's a pretty funny joke there. But again, I mean, it gives a bit of time to help develop the story and get to know a little bit about the island before, and so it doesn't feel rushed, but at the same time it doesn't have to be like a 2 hour 3 hour movie. So BD1's character, like, he's showing humor, kindness, but at the same time is like gotta be matter of fact about it too. and Debo's not having it. Oh, I didn't even mention. I was talking about in the U.S. This is only on DVD. There's an hour print Blu-ray that was with like Bravo Tango, Bravo Zero, something like that. See what the hell this is about. Damn. No one is safe. So much for your dancing. Guess the guy don't like the dancing. I didn't think the dancer was that bad. You didn't have to shoot her for it. Nice explosion there. Now, does this have a Blu-ray overseas? Which had a couple features. There was like a brief interview, I think, with Dolph Lundgren. Sadly, a bit too brief. I know there's an interview with another guy. I guess he's like a Dolph Lundgren expert or something. And he mentioned something about how at one point Jess Speakman was going to be in the film. But then the way he puts it was that Dolph didn't want that to happen because he wanted to be, you know, the top guy on there. Which, if that's the case, is a shame, because I think it would have been great to have Dolph and Jess Speakman in this. That would have been very cool to see. So, but again, that's the only guy that has said that story. I've never heard that story anywhere before. So, I don't know where that guy got. I mean, but that's what he says on that overseas Blu-ray. So those are the guys from the bar before. That's a massive bazooka. Nice. Sayonara, pal. Ooh, credit to the stuntman being on fire there. Going right into the arm explosion. All done for real. No CGI. And of course, this is to inject a bit of action into the proceedings, because this is an action film at the end of the day. And the copy I'm watching is from the overseas Blu-ray. So it's almost like a 35mm type of print, because well, because you see like scratches, there's lines that pop up, things of that nature, which would bother people. But I mean, for me, it's kind of weird. I've kind of gone the opposite. I kind of like that stuff now, because it reminds me of the good old days of the 35mm stuff. And, you know, film, like you see in cinema and stuff. And as long as it's not crazy, it just adds a bit of character. It adds a bit of something tangible to the film. Because I've been a sucker now. I'm looking at like 35mm trailers and trying to find 35mm scans of movies. I'm not saying that's what this is, but because nowadays they clean up movies so much that they look like dolls. They look like AI enhanced. It just waxes, like the Predator Blu-ray for the longest time, until, you know. And yeah, sometimes it's nice to see them crystal clear, but, you know, other times I actually prefer to see how they naturally looked back in the day. Maybe for some Dolph Lundgren fans, maybe they felt this film was a bit too much talk, and for them not enough action. that it was trying too much to be a film. Compared to other like Red Scorpion, I bet you I Come in Peace, The Punisher, Shonen Loto. Those are definitely more action driven in pacing. Of course, there are stories in them, but it's definitely much faster paced. But again, the pace doesn't bother me because I'm into the story and I like the locales. I like the group of characters we have here, the cast, I should say. And even got nudity here. I mean, they're just bathing like regular, and you got all men and women with their tops off, including Charlotte Lewis. So you want to see Charlotte Lewis naked, titties and all. So that's why Eddie Murphy went forward to get the knife. Yeah, it's to save the kid, but also they did them titties. Beautiful looking lady, Charlotte Lewis. I don't know what she's doing nowadays. She was in The Golden Child. She was in this movie. This TV show that didn't last too long. Only a couple episodes called Broken Badges. Had Miguel Ferrer from RoboCop. And the miniseries of The Stand. Sadly, he's passed away. It also had Ernie Hudson, and she was on it. This guy again reminds me of like Dermot Mulroney and Young Guns. We're in the spirit world, they can't see us. But just to show sort of the difference between, you have these two that are much more aggro, much more angry about this. They're not getting close to the locals, while these guys are much more teach them how to play football. But these little moments, we get to know more about the characters, and we get to know a bit more of who they are, and these little personality quirks about them. They might just care more. I would say that guy survived, but at least he has some nice makeup for his burns. And then Trevor Goddard's such a slimy bad guy. He's talking, he's like putting his hand in his pants. Shut your hole. So yeah, Thomas Gibbs is the guy on the left here, and the director Perry Lane is on the right. Okay, if I see someone like Trevor Goddard, I'm not laughing at anything he does or says. Because he just has that look, that mentality that he will just go nutso. I'm gonna look up to see if Perry Lane has done other stuff since this. So just double check. IMDb, I hate the way they've done their website. They have like 85,000 ads too. So it looks like he's just directed a lot of TV work after this. He did a film called Little Vegas in this movie, and then he did episodes of ER, Dark Skies. We did episode Millennium, NYPD Blue, Nash Bridges, Charmed, Twilight Zone, the 2002 version, Alias, Tarzan. There was a TV show of Tarzan, yeah, in 2003. Medium, I think that's one with Patricia Arquette. NCIS Los Angeles. An Interview with God. That's a 2018 film he directed. But he never directed another action film like this again. That's a shame. Looking at a bit of trivia. When Gunar shoots his weapon later on, he says, "Run, you bastards," in Sweden. Shot in Thailand. Okay. Between September and December of 1993. Production ended January 1994. It had good test screenings. Miramax bought it from another company. They promised a theatrical release. Dumped it on video because they thought Dolph Lundgren would bring in the audience. Then it was shelved until December 95 when it was released on video in the US. It was released in some other countries where it wasn't a great financial success but got great reviews. John Sayles said some years later how it was a very good action movie and some of Lundgren's best work. Right, that's IMDb, so unless someone made it up. So Sony Pictures was originally planning on releasing the film through their TriStar Pictures label. However, Weinstein bought the film. It was going to be released in theaters in the Dimension brand. But like many films purchased by Weinstein, it sat on the shelf for over a year and dumped straight to video. So more like, hey, we want movies for our direct-to-video market. We don't want to put all the money into putting in theater. We know this is going to make money. It's going to be a lot cheaper to just put on video. So we'll just do that and rake in the profits. John Sayles' script remained in the final movie, although it had rewrites by Ethan Reiff and Cyrus Voris. The major difference is that Sayles' original script only had action in the last act, but once the film was about to be made, Dolph Lundgren's requirement for the producer was to put action throughout. So yeah, you had that little bit in the bar scene, you had that other scene we saw where they blow up the boat. So the original title, when John Sayles wrote it, was A Safe Place. It was more of a drama. It was going to be for Atlantic Entertainment. That company went bust in the late 80s, and the screenplay languished for years. It was released in theaters in France. Sometime after he finished working on this film, Dolph was supposed to star in a dark and violent action thriller titled Meltdown, based on an old John Carpenter script. He was going to play a Navy SEAL who has to fight against an army of terrorists who take control of a nuclear power plant and are planning on blowing it up and cause nuclear disaster. A guy named John Dahl was going to direct the film in spring of '94, but because of the many problems that studio and producers found themselves in, lawsuits, budget issues, the film was canceled from being made just days before film was supposed to start, after around 4 years were spent on pre-production work. So yeah, there are 3 different versions of the film. Oh, in Germany. The 16 and 18 rated versions were heavily cut. The unrated rental video is uncut. The R-rated Region 1 DVD is cut during a few violent moments, but on one hand is presenting a beautiful remastered widescreen presentation. The German release is presented in pan scan, but is fully uncut. The UK DVD release is uncut and widescreen. So actually, out there, I don't know which one this is. Because I just found a copy online, so I don't know. It is in widescreen, but I don't know if this is. I don't know if this is the UK or the German release. This film deserves like an actual, just generally good release in the US. Come on now. Crying out loud. See, that's what I mean. Like, that's why I don't mind that there's not a ton of action so far, because there's decent character build-up for these folks. And the characters have a bit, at least enough personality for me to care and give a crap. So even there, you know, it's like the soldiers are even confused as to what's going on. And others find them on themselves. Yeah, the one... Oh yeah, he's gonna cut like his hand or something. Or finger. Oh, his whole hand off. A little bit extreme. I mean, could have gone with a finger, it would get the same point. I don't think you need to cut the whole hand off, but let me give you a hand. It's not the right hand. But just to showcase, they'd rather die than but I guess, you know, if you want to show how extreme they are, cutting your hand off would do the trick. And now we have the splitting of the team. I think Dolph does a good job acting here. People, you'll give him crap, but I never thought he was a bad actor. Never did. People, oh, that movie Cover Up. Everything about that movie's bad. The script, the boring direction. Even Louis Gossett Jr., who's an Academy Award winner, couldn't say that film. That's just an awful movie everywhere. But here, it's, again, I think it's a pretty well-told story. Where you really have to showcase why this guy changes his mind, changes his mood, changes his venture. You can't do that in 5 minutes or 20 minutes. So, them spending days, them seeing the culture, them seeing how determined this island is, fall in love with this girl and how sweet she is. Tomorrow we decide you just shoot us all. As she puts it here, we'd rather die than live like that one island. As she puts it, yeah, maybe someone else will come, but we'll talk to them. Right now we're talking to you. Pretty matter of fact. Pretty matter of fact. Got a point. Make your move. What's it gonna be? But it's a nice build-up because you gotta show which side someone's on, but you also gotta understand as an audience member why that is. And it's hard to create momentum. It's hard to create deep characters for all of these characters, but you get enough to understand a little bit what they're thinking. Tom Wright with the way he's playing with those kids, how off the handle Tiny Lister is. Here comes your floating pink slip. You know what decision they made. And that cinches the deal for Dolph is that you're doing this for bird droppings. Thousands of caves and back guano. Rich in minerals. There'll be a hole in the ocean. You want me to kill people for bird shit? Why not? You've done it for less. That line pretty much cinches it for Dolph. You've done it for less. As now you got this guy and his art. And this decision. That pretty much cinches it. It's like, no way this is worth it. What you don't fight for? Anyone who fucks with me, anyone who fucks with it, fucks with me. It's too bad Dolph doesn't get to use his weapon too much later on. This, I think it's M60. It's too bad, like I said, it's too bad he doesn't get to use his weapon too much. Yes, you are an idiot, because he's telling the truth. And now the choosing of sides. I love Ty Lissiger as well. Rest in peace to him. And there's a lot of nice energy to it. He's like, come on, not my babies. As Resident, he gives the guy respect enough to keep his baby, so to speak. So you don't have a lot of development like this girl Grace and Gracie and this other guy, but enough to make at least something noteworthy about it. I love how he calls him bald head when he's got a bald head too. But yours the size of a bowling ball. Like, this is a weird Bald head, you looked in the mirror lately? And now the choice has been made. So we get a little bit of knowledge about this girl here. But again, remember, folks, there's never been strong women until the late 2000s, 2010s. I repeat that in commentaries because that whole thing was like, finally we have strong women. I'm like, there's always been strong women, if you bother to look. Whether it be action films, whether it be slasher films, whether it be everything of the sort. Again, there's a strong woman here that kicks ass. We'll see that later on. And so I'll be right back. I gotta do something real quick, but I'll be right back. Sorry about all the stops and starts, that's just how it is. One of my cats needed something, so I wanted to take care of it. But now that's done. So I'm paused at 1 hour, 5 minutes, and 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, press and play. Pretty much our team here is going to be trying to get ready for the battle that's incoming, which is where most of the action will take place. And that's the thing, when the action starts, it just keeps going until the very end, so... And that's the thing, like, if you have this build-up, you really gotta pull it off in the conclusion category. Hard Target, for example. There's little actions here and there. There's the opening with the Douglas Bender character and bits here and there, but gets to like an hour in, give or take, 50 minutes in, and then just goes full throttle. Now you see what the Islanders are doing. This cave system, which will be part of the final fight between Dolph and Trevor Goddard's character, which that's a fun fight. Plus, it just shows where these people will be safe. Some of these people. It shows a bit of the culture of this island there. It's a bullshit map. People follow it, they go into deep shit. Real map is in here. That's an interesting idea to have a BS map and then... But I did BD wanted in the way, like, he seems like a calm, jovial guy, but he could be dangerous when he needs to. The old people stories BS, we are the old people. So, means, yeah, we're peaceful, but we know a bit about being a warrior as well. Or maybe not as innocent as you think, but we want to be. I do love the bit that she does on here. It's a nice look to him with the red line, the paint down his face. There we go. We got Kevin Teague, Trevor Goddard, Tanglissa Jr. White flag, yeah, right. This is sort of the call to arms, final dealing between the two before it hits the fan. By the way, I'm very glad that Dolph Lundgren is better health wise because I remember year or less time ago, found out that there was a point he had, I think, some type of cancer or something, some kind of, I forget what it was, but or tumor, something like that. But thankfully, and there was thoughts that maybe he wouldn't have long to live. But he talked to another person, they were able to get him in, and the tumor is like it's like under control now, and so far things are going fine. Good on him, man. A lot of people say he's a good guy, he's a nice guy. You don't really hear a lot of horror stories about Dolph. And, like I say, it's just a damn shame that his career should have been much. It's weird to say bitter because he's worked for many years, but it's just. Again, he has so many good films that were in the hits. This being dumped the VHS in the U.S. Shono Tokyo only in a handful of theaters. Icon Peace not getting the respect when it's just as much of a fun, kick-ass action movie as the Seagal and Van Damme films that were hits at that time. More than some of them. Again, The Punisher. I just... Damn shame. Yeah, some lighting there. I'm guessing that was animated after the fact. Well, actually, I like the way lighting looks when they use the animation. I just like how happy and jovial BD1 is with that scene. Like, he's proud of Dolph. Like, alright, we got the Dolph on our side. So we got about 50 people. So we got a healthy amount of bad guys to kill. You have this great, I love this weapon Dolph has. Such a cool, massive looking rocket launcher. It's weird that the one shot, like the target was like nowhere near the boats. And then when he shoots, it blows up one of the boats. Like the target's right here in the middle when he kept showing it. But then when he shoots, it fires on one of the boats. I don't know why they didn't have it where it's like moving, like target on one boat. I don't know. Yeah, but this is when the Archers are going to kick in the high gear here. I guess they'll be fine with their village getting blown up in a bit because they can always rebuild. Let's go to mine. Yep, she moved the mines. Ooh, nice makeup effect. The bloody leg, missing a foot. See, that's what made Trevor Goddard. Like, he could just drawn up and shoot, but he added his own flavor. He turns it like this, and then shoots the guy. That's what I mean by actor like that, adding the little quirks to make the villain more memorable. I don't know, like this. It just makes it less boring, less standard. There you go. Now you got a little bit of First Blood type of action. High in the trees and stuff. There you go. Some guerrilla warfare here. Divide and conquer. Hey, double tap for good measure. You shouldn't have stared. You should have shot those two guys. Oh my God, Dolph. Maybe that's the radio. Oh my God, it's Ivan Drago. Well, there you go. It makes me what happened to the M60? Did it run out of bullets? Maybe. I guess maybe the weapon he has is a bit better to handle. Not, you know. How did he get that M60 machine gun back? Or did he have another one? Maybe they had another one. And you have this kind of little interesting thing here where Trevor almost looks at this guy, Kevin Teed, as like a father figure. I think he even says that later on. But at the same time, it's like he knows or he thinks this guy likes Dolph more than him, and that makes him upset about that or something. But you shouldn't be messing with Dolph, I'm telling you. You're going to lose. Well, I guess unless you're Stallone or John Van Damme. Then they'll win, but... And then Dolph, like, after a point, really didn't get theatrical movies anymore. He was in Giant Mnemonic. He's in a tiny part in that, and then he gets killed by a dolphin. Flipper kills Dolph Lundgren in that movie. And then, what, the next theatrical was, what, the Expendables movies? Now they're telling people that can't fight back, that don't have guns. How fair is that? A little bit too much swinging the camera so you can't understand what's going on. A little bit too much of that. But just to show that now the bad guy's got to win here in this part of the war. Just as like they know we're gonna wait, so I said hard and fast. I mean, you got a rocket launcher, why not use it? It's like me playing a video game. Take the biggest weapon and just unleash. Run, you bastards. It is apparently that's what he says there. I mean, come on. You got Dolph blow up a whole village with rocket launchers. I mean, how cool is that? And tell him with small arms fire as well. Yes, a grenade there. Oh, okay, this bit later on when he uses that again, I love. Ooh, nice there. Hey. Divide and conquer. And BD1's like, okay, you guys, you started all this. Gonna have fun with you two guys. Torch the village. The village is pretty much torched as is. Torch what village? What village is left? Timothy thought Dolph was gonna lick his wounds. It's more like, lick this. Nice pan of the camera here. That must have been they had to clear like certain section of the jungle or wherever they shot to get that camera going so they're not stumbling over leaves and stuff. We saw a little bit of the kid using this against Tom Wright and such. Not Tom Wright, but, you know, against some of them. And we've established that he's friendly with the kids. Oh yeah, and I think the kids actually help him out later. That's right. But again, it's a nice develop. You know, we built that up a bit so it doesn't feel like it comes out of nowhere. Yeah, because he's fighting Timeless Jr. who's hurting him, and these kids help him out. Ooh, nice net snap there. Take you down. Goodbye to you. And goodbye to you. Even this, you see it briefly, but you even get some blood squibs. Nice little battle here. Top to bottom. Ooh, nice stunt there. And in each character's moment to shine. And actually care if they live or die. Ooh, there you go. Ooh, right in the leg. Yeah, this is the kids helping him. There you go. I don't know that was meant to happen because he landed on that kid when he fell. I don't know if that was meant to happen because he fell and like landed right on that kid. I have to think that was an accident, but they kept it in. Because he's a big, he was a big guy, and that much weight hitting the kid, damn. Now we got some slow-mo here. There we go. Dodge a knife. Another nice knife bit right to the throat. An actual appropriate usage of slow-mo, unlike Zack Snyder that just overindulge in it. You say John Woo did it, but John Woo just has a lot more style and grit in his films and violence, and just, I don't know. He's just a better director in my opinion. But John Woo knows how to handle that the best, the slow-mo. But this is a nice usage of slow-mo. Ooh. Ah, it's Charlotte Lewis. Okay. And Crazy got the bit of the Rambo, you know, Rambo 2 red bandana going there. Because I think it's this. I'm not sure if he. Yeah, mainly Rambo 2, I think, with the red bandana. You got a little bit of that going. Or like a little bit of Vasquez from Aliens. A little bit of that. A little bit of grenade action there. Now, of course, he's trying to lead them away from the innocents. Ooh, that's a nice slide. Good work on the stump. Well, a lot of it was her. Maybe not everything, but a lot of it was her. Good job on that. It's not an easy slide to do. Don't worry, Tyler Sojourner, you'll get your comeuppance soon enough. Well, I should say the character, not him. Ah, playing possum. There you go. But just punch that guy right down the cliff. Ooh, nice headbutt. Boom. What's the line he says here? You want a gunfight? You got one. There comes that rocket again. There you go. Boom. This scene here, I love it. Sort of the guy gets in the wrong place, the wrong time. Right there. Don't sneak up on people, right? Fry that guy like Kentucky Fried Chicken dinner. See, moments like that really make the film work for me. Have I ever seen something like that before? Where you have the back end of the rocket launcher fry someone like that. Fricky see them. Nah, not too often. And that's a funny line. Don't sneak up on people. And he said naturally. It didn't come off as cheesy or anything. Again, this girl, she has like a little bit of that Vasquez feel to her. Ooh. Damn, right in the leg. Damn, just keep shooting the guy. I forget who kills this guy. Because I think this guy gets killed here. Which I remember being like a nice surprise. Like, oh shit. Because I think the blood hits her face. Oh yes, that one guy, that's burnt. There you go. Right? The guy was burnt. Yep. Forgot about that guy, that's right. It's been a while since I've seen the film. It's been a long while, so I don't remember all the details. But I didn't feel bad for that guy, because that guy tried to do the right thing. And this guy definitely deserves his comeuppance here. Have fun with the grenade. Time to blow. There you go. There's Tiny Lister. He has some nice makeup here with the burn marks here on his side of his face. Oh yeah, he kills both of these. Both Tim and the girl. Which again, I remember being surprising, because you're thinking here, okay, he's the good guy, he's going to kill him, Tiny Lister's already wounded. But I did remember being surprised, like, oh shit, he's going to kill him and her? Damn. No. He kills Tim, and then the girl kills Tiny, and then actually Trevor Goddard kills the girl. That's right. But you didn't expect that. Yeah, I think he like breaks his neck. Yeah, there you go. There you go. But I remember like being, oh wow, this is a lot, darker and serious. Oh, Trevor Goddard, okay, did, yeah. It does make you feel bad that some of the characters die. Not all the good guys are going to make it. Definitely makes you hate Trevor Goddard, even more so. Of course, they use slow motion to have a bit more of a dramatic effect. I don't know if you needed slow-mo. I get why you did, but I don't know if you needed it entirely. But, some of the good guys who survived, you have the girl Gracie, you have Tom Wright's character. At least they made it. Ooh, nice. Right across the face. Hey, use whatever you got. Now, he's tearing it. Oh, yeah, he does have another one because Trevor Goddard uses it against him. Because we're wondering, yeah, he does have one more. And he's going to use it. It's been a hell of a valiant fight. Does it? If you say so, guy. Oh, there you go. Pearlane and Thomas Gibson. Damn. That's one way to go out. Welcome to hell. There you go. I really do enjoy. This is one of my favorite fights with Dolph. The sound effects of the punches sound good. The choreography between the two. And the guy knew to have the camera far enough to see them doing it in these wide shots to really see that they're taking the impacts and the hits. Again, they have it wide enough to see the actors doing it. It's not cut to ribbons, where it's like ADD edited. It's using the environment. Oh, one of my favorite bits is coming up where he gets the axe, but it's too weak. We're not there yet. This is a brawl, but he also has some nice, well choreographed fight. Using pieces of the environment. You get a couple kicks in there with Dolph. Here's the axe. I love this moment. Fuck. See? Brings a bit of sense of a humor, levity to the fight, but still doesn't feel out of place. Fuck. Ooh, nice uppercut. Now this is payback for... Nice combo there. This is payback for beating up on me at the beginning. Ooh, nice... Ooh. Oh, you did a pretty cool death scene here. Because it goes, that's like under his chin and out his mouth. Nice gory death for the bad guy. He definitely deserves it. And not many bad guy deaths like this. Ooh. Under the chin, out the mouth. Ooh. That's a nice gory death. And they drown him too. So it's not just drown him, but just that extra... Ugh. Not quite Cannibal Holocaust, because that's through the whole body, but just that... Ugh. That's a nice gory death, man. Yeah, and one of the better fights for Dolph in a movie. Granted, yes, I would put Universal Soldier and stuff above it, but still one of the better ones. So they won the fight, but not without casualties. But the same thing meant something because, like they said, if they left, they would send someone else, or they wouldn't have possible heart like Dolph and these others had. Yeah, she definitely earned it. And why would you have men and women working together and no woke BS? How shocking, right? How shocking. We have a legend. Really? No. No, but I'm working on it. See, that is a good movie right there. That is a damn good movie. It tells the story properly. It gives enough time to build up some of these characters to at least get a sense of who they are as a person. How some connect to the island, some don't. How Dolph finds a possible second life here. Then decides to go back on this plan. The divide between the mercs, the troops, so to speak. And then going up to this battle war at the end. With enough memorable moments, again, the fight between him and Trevor Goddard in the cave system, great death on the bad guy. Cool little moments, like when he shoots the rocket, the guy's behind him, burns the guy to a crisp. Don't sneak up on people. It's Dolph shooting bad guys with a rocket launcher. How did you go wrong with that? The score fits, and like I said, this is a film that they definitely put some effort and budget into it, and again, it's a shame they just got thrown away, and nobody talks about this film. Nobody talks about this film, man. Thailand, they showed some really nice locations, scenery. Yeah, this is. I don't really have much problems with the movie. Once in a while, the director would be a bit too, in an action scene, showing like a weird angle, like a point he shoots, and then a hut blows up, but the picture's like here. It doesn't bother me that much, but it just, oh, that's weird. I guess maybe it's his way of trying to make it. Okay, there's another hut blowing up. I gotta make this look a little bit different. And maybe not everybody likes it because they wanted more action, but it works in this story, the way it was handled. And it's too bad Perry Lane didn't get a chance to do another. Well, again, if you put all this hard work into a film only for Miramax to buy it and then do nothing with it, where no one saw it, and if barely anyone saw it, then barely anyone got to talk about it, got to mention it, got to say anything about it. So, what do you expect, I guess, is the case. So I guess if that's the, I can't blame them for it. But with that said, thanks for watching. Thanks once again, Ben, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.